Alright, yo, what's good, everybody? I have a question today. My great friend Mark asked about hemp and how is it non-toxic and how is it a non-pollutive? Like, how could you burn fuel? How could you burn something for fuel and have it be non-toxic and non-pollutive? Well, luckily, I have my Bible handy. This is the Jeremiah Rebel Music Bible. This is The Emperor Wears No Clothes by Jack Herrera. I am a disciple of Jack Herrera. So, a proud disciple. So here we go. This page right here, it's all backwards here. So, but anyway, it says clean renewable fuel source. Clean renewable fuel source. When hemp is grown for biomass as an energy crop, CO2 is breathed in by the living plants. Then when the hemp biomass is burned for energy, the CO2 is released back into the air and the balanced cycle becomes complete. But that's just the intro. Fuel is not synonymous with petroleum and coal. Biomass energy systems can supply a sustainable source of fuel and will create millions of new, clean jobs. Hemp biomass-derived fuels and oils can replace every type of fossil fuel energy product. It says, see the chart on page 61. There's a great chart here that explains all that. Everyone get this book. Anyway, during transpiration, the growing hemp plants breathe in CO2, which is carbon dioxide, to build cell structure. The leftover oxygen is breathed out, replenishing Earth's air supply. Then, when the carbon-rich hemp biomass is burned for energy, the CO2 is released back into the air. The CO2 cycle comes close to ecological balance. When the new fuel crop is grown the next year. Growing trees keeps 10 times the carbon dioxide in the earth by keeping the infrastructure of the microbes, insects, plants, fungi, etc. alive for each tree. The older and bigger the tree, the more carbon dioxide is kept out of the atmosphere. So what Jack's saying is, don't cut down trees for paper, grow hemp. And then you get the double benefit. So biomass conversion through pyrolysis, pyrolysis is applying high heat to organic material in the absence of air or in reduced air. This produces clean burning charcoal to replace coal. Sulfur emitted from coal-fired boiler smokestacks is the primary cause of acid rain. Measuring acidity on the pH scale, the rainfall in New England often falls between household vinegar and lemon juice. This is bad for every cell membrane the rain comes in contact with. And think about how much our whole life is coming in contact with that. So doing the most harm to the simplest life forms. Charcoal contains no sulfur, so when it is burned for industry, no sulfur is emitted from the process. The biomass cracking process also produces non-sulfur fuel oils capable of replacing fossil fuel oils such as diesel oil, and the net atmospheric CO2 doesn't rise when biomass-derived fuel oils are burned. Pyrolysis uses the same cracking technology employed by the petroleum industry in processing fossil fuels. The gases that remain after the charcoal and fuel oils are extracted from hemp can be used for driving electric power cogenerators too. This biomass conversion process can be adjusted to produce charcoal, methanol, and fuel oils to process steam, as well as chemicals important to industry: acetone, ethyl acetate, tar, pitch, and creosote. The Ford Motor Company successfully operated a biomass cracking plant in the 1930s at Iron Mountain, Michigan, using trees for cellulose fuels. Earth-friendly hemp is at least 4 times as efficient as trees for fuel and is sustainable. Hemp seed contains 30% by volume oil. This oil has been used to make high-grade diesel fuel oil and aircraft engine and precision machine oil. Throughout history, hemp seed oil was used for lighting in oil lamps. Legend says that Genie's lamp burned hemp seed oil, as did Abraham the prophets. In Abraham Lincoln's time, only whale oil came near hemp seed oil in popularity for fuel. And then this goes more into biomass for energy abundance, which I'll touch a little on because the question kind of asked about that too. So hemp stems are 80% herds, and a herd is pulp byproduct after the hemp fiber is removed from the plant. So hemp herds are 77% cellulose, a primary chemical feedstock, industrial raw material used in the production of chemicals, plastics, and fibers. Depending on which U.S. agricultural report is correct, an acre of fuel-grown hemp plants can sustainably provide 4 to 50 or even 100 times the cellulose found in corn stalks, quinoa, or sugarcane, the planet's next highest annual cellulose plants. In most places, hemp can be harvested twice a year, and in warmer areas such as Southern California, Texas, Florida, and the like, it could be year-round crop. Hemp has a short growing season and can be planted after food crops have been harvested. An independent semi-rural network of efficient and autonomous farmers should become the key economic player in the production of energy in this country. The United States government pays for farmers to refrain from growing approximately 90 million acres of farmland each year called the soil bank, and 10 to 90 million acres of hemp or other woody annual biomass planted on this restricted, unplanted fallow farmland, our soil bank, would make energy a whole new ballgame and be a real attempt at doing something to save the earth. There are another 500 million marginal, unplanted acres of farmland in America. Each acre of hemp would yield 1,000 gallons of methanol. Fuels from hemp, along with the recycling of paper, etc., would be enough to run America virtually without oil. I mean, I just can keep going and going and going. Or Jack can just keep going and going and going. My gosh, it just goes on and on. Family farms are fossil fuel. But I'll just close with this. There's a quick couple paragraphs on so what's the catch? Because I know, it's so perfect. What's the catch? Well, the catch is obvious. The energy companies, they own the most of the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, liquor, and tobacco companies and are intertwined with insurance companies and banks. According to the press, many politicians now in power are bought and paid for by the energy companies, and their U.S. government their U.S. government arm is the CIA. The company, Robert Ludlum, etc., the Bush-Quayle administration was uniquely tied to oil, newspapers, pharmaceuticals, and the CIA. He's talking about the early 90s because that's when this came out, but we've seen plenty more in addition to that since the Bush administration. The world struggle for money is actually a struggle for energy, as it is through energy that we may produce food, shelter, transportation, and entertainment. It is this struggle which often erupts into open war. If we remove the cause, these conflicts may never occur.